We have another story that's got the internet very upset. A woman was getting changed in Gold's Gym, LA, and she saw a man in the changing room, a biological man, but he claims to be trans. She reported the situation and her gym membership got revoked. Let's unpack this.
Women like to see dick.
Asking you fucking question.
Exactly. Get out of the way now. No. Now he knows how to be a man, right? Now he knows how to be a man. Stay out of the women's locker room. We don't want.
I love the now he knows how to be a man, because look at that man squaring up to the other guy. Oh, okay, so you want to be trans? You're saying you're trans woman, but look at you. When it comes to like defending yourself, you're squaring up. Okay.
He needs to have his gym membership revoked for that. And the woman told you he assaulted me. The girl told already. We already filed reports. No.
That's fine. I want the video.
You can't get rid of me for this. I'm a woman and I have every right to not want a man in the restroom when I'm naked. There are girls naked in there. Look at them walking in there like it's okay. It's not okay.
Honestly, I see how this woman is really upset. And how is that man casually just walking back in? There's no security to say, sir. For me, it's also the ridiculous staff member that said, both of you are out of here. I'm sorry, in what word is that the solution? The solution is, oh, okay, the victim in this situation and the person that's causing the issue, both of you are going to get out of here. In what word is that the solution to this problem? And I think that is when I see videos like this, and the first thing that upsets me is how it is being resolved. Because it's like, who are the people that are who are these people that are getting hired? They can't use basic common sense to resolve conflicts. To say, okay, clearly this man looks like a man. Maybe don't be in the women's changing room.
Gold's Gym, men, grown men with big in the women's locker room. And that's why I'm getting kicked out. And I want to make sure the girls know.
I love this woman. She said, you're going to kick me out. I'm going to make a scene. I'm going to cause a scene. But not just cause a scene. I'm going to let all the girls know that these people are allowing men, a grown man, to enter the locker room where we are changing. And you hear in the previous video what the man said. Oh, women likes to see men's private part. Women like to see men's private part. We already know this person is... For you to say that, that's just something that's sick, and also you're a perv, if that's what you're going to say. I love how she decided to out them and not just quietly walk away. And also what really annoys me about this video is how everyone is just standing there watching her like this is a show. Like, she's putting on a show for you to watch. This is just pure entertainment for you. No one is standing up. No one is. I just hate situations like this where you seem like the crazy one when everyone else is crazy, actually, in this situation.
Everybody saw that man in the locker room. No one's saying and I'm done with it. It's stupid. It's dangerous. Me naked in front of a man without my permission. I'm the one who gets kicked out the gym, y'all. I'm terminated for not wanting men in the locker room.
She's the one getting kicked out for not wanting men in the locker room. And I love what she said about, like, everyone knows there's a man that walked into the locker room. We saw in that video that he just strolled right back in and nobody is saying anything. The women, and I understand not every woman is brave enough to want to speak, because sometimes people are scared and they just don't want to, they just feel like they're not brave enough to, like, say anything. But are you going to report? Are you going to do something? How everyone is just casually walking around and minding their business like this is not a big problem, where women are not feeling safe in that situation. This woman didn't feel safe in that situation. And no one is going to say anything. The fact that a woman that feels so unsafe, and not just this woman, the women that have probably come across this man in the changing room, they haven't said anything because they're too scared. Women's safety being taken so casually, it tells us something, that there's something deeper here and something deeply flawed. It tells us that people don't really care about women's safety. Clearly, because that's why we can sit around and have the debate of trans women going to women's sports, or having situations like this occur over and over again. There's one that happened in LA Fitness where she walked into the women's changing room and she saw a man that claims to be trans shaving his beard. And in that situation her gym membership got revoked as well. And we've seen so many cases of these things happening, where in public spaces there would just be men that claim to be women and they're just doing their thing and no one is doing anything about it. The reason why there's such poor judgment, where her gym membership got revoked and the other woman's gym membership got revoked, and the situation is never sorted out like anyone that has common sense, actually, it's because people are so scared of not being woke. Companies want to be diverse so bad, want to be so inclusive of everyone so badly, that no one is having the brain and the common sense to think, actually, in this inclusivity that we're doing, in us being inclusive as we should, we are compromising other people's safety. Is at the expense of women. And if you are going to be inclusive, and if you want to be inclusive so badly, and again, we should all be inclusive because trans people exist, and we can't dismiss the fact that they do exist. Create facilities for them to use so that women are not feeling unsafe, so that these situations are not occurring over and over again.
I was naked in the locker room. I turned around and there's a man there in boy clothes, lip gloss, standing there looking at me. I'm butt naked. So the first thing I think is, maybe there's a worker in here, maybe I missed a sign. I say the word sir to say, sir, what are you doing in here? He goes, don't talk to me. I'm a woman. I have a right to be in here. Immediately, I'm pissed because I'm butt naked. I feel violated. I feel like weird. Like, I don't want to deal with this, right? So the girls are walking in and they're seeing the commotion, and they actually chime in and say, yo, I don't know why he's in here. He's not supposed to be in here.
So where were the girls? The girls that were saying, I don't know why he's in here. Where were they when you were getting kicked out? Where were they when you were voicing your opinion about how you were kicked out on the situation? Where were they? And again, I know not everyone would be able to stand up and speak out like that in public, but where were they? Why were they not speaking to the staff member and trying to make sense of the situation, trying to actually defend you and say, why would this woman's membership be revoked? I'm not even trying to pull blame or point hands, but it's at the end of the day, if we don't all stand up together and say this is unsafe, there would not be any change being made. There will be no change. If it's just one person against so many other people, against management that can't use their heads to make a proper decision, then there won't be any change. They won't think there's a problem with this.
Listen, how can you say you're a woman or you want to be a woman and you don't care how women feel? That's nothing more manly than not giving a about how women feel.
I love that point. Because you say you're a woman, okay. You're not, but you say you're a woman. You can't put yourself in a woman's position and say, if really I'm a woman, how would I want to feel? How would I want to feel safe in a situation like this? But you claim to be a woman. Because that's the truth is, I've seen a lot of trans content. I've watched a lot of debates with like trans people involved. I've watched so many, and I know like when it really comes down to it, and based on the debates I've seen, and I'm not generalizing all trans people think like this or behave like this, but when it really comes down to it, I think there's a big majority of trans people that it's not really, they don't really care about the opposite gender, the other people. They don't really care about women. They don't really care about it when it really comes to, especially trans women. They don't really care about women. And I'm not generalizing. Again, when it really comes down to it, it's about them. It's about how they're comfortable. It's about their safety. It's about me, how I'm oppressed, how I don't feel safe, because when the moment he has to be looking out for somebody, women's safety, and you want to be a woman, you claim to be a woman, when the moment it's flipped, then I don't care. I don't care if you're not safe. Am I safe? Am I comfortable? Am I allowed to express myself? That's all it is. It's never actually considering the women. It's actually never really considered. And I'm saying trans women because a lot of this, we never really hear trans men doing, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. It's always trans women. It's always men. So TMZ interviewed both parties. She explained what the situation was and how unsafe and how uncomfortable she felt in that situation. And they basically flipped the question to him and said, "Can you understand like how that would make her uncomfortable?" Because she walked in and she was naked and he was you are they're talking to him like in your towel and you still have your male parts. You may be transitioning, but you still have your male part. Can you see how like that would make her feel unsafe and uncomfortable? Here's what he said.
Well, I certainly do not understand it, but I do get the notion of the fear mongering that she's perpetuating. Um, the truth in the moment is far from what she is purporting it to be. Literally every time that she's done that, I've had women in the locker room comforting me because of how aggressive she was towards me.
Of course, you don't understand where she's coming from. Of course, you can't see that she felt unsafe in that moment. What did we expect the response to be? Because if you knew she was going to be unsafe or women will feel unsafe in that situation, you wouldn't be in the females' changing room in the first place. So, of course, you don't get that you being having male parts will make somebody uncomfortable. Of course you don't. But it's also like the fear mongering you're putting. She's exaggerating the situation beyond what it is. Really? Really? Because even anyone with half a brain would know that even in that base, she doesn't have to tell us anything more. We already know how the situation was. If anybody walks in, any woman walks in on a man in the change room, a space where it's supposed to be women only, and there's a man with his genitals that is still a man. No one has to put any salt and pepper to make that story more to be exaggerated. We already know how that story goes. We already know that she felt unsafe. So that whole idea that she made it seem more than it was, it's absolute nonsense. And of course, you're also going to say, "Oh, women came to comfort me because she was so aggressive." Of course, that's what men always say when they want to reduce what a woman is saying or simplify what a woman's experience. Oh, they're gonna call her aggressive. It's such a man's playbook to call a woman aggressive, especially a black woman. So no, I actually have no words for this man right here. He's ridiculous. And of course, you go and put lip gloss and earrings on for this interview and show your cleavage because that's what you think womanhood is. Put lip gloss and earrings and now you're a woman, right? Okay, cool. This has nothing to do with my stance on trans people and the trans community. Nothing. This has everything to do with women's safety. And over again, we've seen women report, especially in public spaces, like to just see a man in public space and the man will call themselves like a woman just because they're wearing a dress. Like, this has everything to do with women's safety and we're just not doing enough to protect women. Anyways, guys, what do you think in the comment? What do you think about this situation? I'm sure you've probably come across it online somewhere. Where do you stand in this whole situation? Let me know in the comments. And as always, I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in my next. Bye, guys.